What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. Yesterday on Cinco de Mayo, how appropriate, instead of out drinking, having a good time, hanging out with friends, co-workers, family. Yesterday at 7 p.m. was the first Mikey Pipes HVAC training facility class featuring 3 individuals. We had Tariq from Brooklyn, we had Mike from Lynbrook, and we had Edison from East Patchogue, New York. All found a way to get here in the pouring rain, and we started the class with lighting the fire. Special thanks to ChatGPT for making that curriculum possible for day one. We didn't follow it that much, but we went over the basic principle of pilot lighting, testing thermocouples, and we briefly touched on the Weil McLain Ultra 3 230 condensing boiler. We fired up the heat, lighting the fire. We got the vertical radiant wall all discombobulated because heat causes things to expand. If you think that looks pretty now, you should have saw it yesterday. Here is the uncut, unedited, and raw live classroom video with myself, Tariq, Mike, and Edison. Class will be every Monday for these 3 individuals, and there's a wait list. Email me, Mike at mikeypipes.com. Let's go! Let's get the show on the road.
Yes.
Okay, so let me start over. I already explained it to Tariq, to Mike, and now to
Edison.
Edison. Edison, like Edison, New Jersey?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, very good. So we're going to be about 50 minutes today. Okay, we're going to talk about what's behind me, and for the first several classes, we're going to be doing heating only. I know we're going into air conditioning season, but that's not my goal right now because I only have this to work with to show you guys how it works, and this is abnormal. You're not going to see these kind of inverters in the field. You're going to see compressors and things like that, and contactors and capacitors. But we can talk about that as well if you want. I asked ChatGPT to give me a curriculum. I sent you a summary of the curriculum to all of your emails weeks ago. We're going to follow this, and we will learn. Hopefully, that's the goal. But the class is called Lighting the Fire. Right? And I think that's a perfect way to starting this because we will learn by starting the fire, and we will light the fire under your ass to keep getting motivated to learn something new every day. That's the goal. You guys want to sit down in chairs and in the buckets instead of standing there?
Yeah.
Here's a milk crate, and if it's getting cold, you guys getting cold? No. I can turn the heat on.
Nah.
That's fine. All right, now I'm good, thank you.
Okay, let me close that. We don't want any more strap. The bathroom's inside there. The lights are just recessed into the wall because the contractor's retarded. He's probably going to watch it as well, but I'm not mentioning his name. Okay. We're going to start over again. You're Tariq, you're Mike, you're Edison, like Edison, New Jersey. Tell us about your experience. What are you doing now? How long have you been doing that for? And why you're here today?
Okay, so since I was 14, I have a stepfather actually. He's a plumber.
Okay.
So he took me in. He used to work like in the weekends, during summer. So and then I graduated from school and went to a tech school for HVAC. So I got my license there. I went to home server actually for a year.
You have your 608 Universal?
Yeah, I have that.
Very good.
So I went to home server for a year, and then after that, I was in a coastal mechanical for over 6 years, and we do only install, let's say, commercial, residential, but not, let's say, service.
No service.
Not. Let's say last year we started like some service, like commercially.
Okay.
And that's it. So.
Okay.
Residential not as much, but.
And how long have you been doing this for now?
Well, I want to say 7 years.
7 years.
Constantly, yeah.
For the same company or for a few companies?
Yeah, well, home server a year, and then this company 6.
And where's this company based out of?
We're in Ronkonkoma.
Wow, it's far. Where do you live?
East Patchogue. It's like 50
Where?
minutes. East Patchogue.
East Patchogue.
Yeah.
So how'd you get it? Took the train?
An hour and a half drive. Yeah.
Wow, East Patchogue. So that's far. That's past Route 112, Ocean Park, Ocean Avenue, North Ocean. Yeah, that's far. Yeah, okay. How long have you lived? How long you live in East Patchogue? Yeah, you live there.
Yeah.
How long have you lived there for?
8 years.
So you were there with Chickies,
Yeah.
right for Bayport, right?
Yeah,
Belport?
Well, in Belport, yeah. I actually went to school there in Belport.
Yeah, chickies. Okay, awesome. And what do you hope to get out of this?
Well, learn about like service. I went
Perfect.
for those machines. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, Mike, you're up next.
So at high school, I did plumbing. I worked with my dad a little bit. He actually had a company in Valley Stream, and then I got into construction. Then I went to what's it called, Bosie's over in Westbury. Yeah, and it was took some courses. That was fine. And then I got into the real world and found out that 90% of that stuff was just yeah, it was all crap. So got there. I did tin knock. I was doing tin knocking while I was doing that. I was working in Manhattan, and then I came out to Long Island. Did service on the North Shore, service installation for 5 or 6 years up on the North Shore.
Okay.
Then wanted to get into refrigeration, so I got into refrigeration about 3 years ago.
You love it.
And I love it. Yes, I do love it. Minus the
hours.
Minus digging machines out of the snow on the roof and all ladders and all that.
Yeah, it can't be fun.
No, it's not fun. But other than that, I love it. So in the course of refrigeration, I see these machines in Dunkin' Donuts. I see them in owners' homes, and I wanted to know how these machines work because that's
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, we will touch on that a little bit today in the next hour. And Tariq.
Yes. So I went to Apex, and honestly, what I want to get out of this, I want to learn more about gas, the heating system in New York, and I just want to learn the trade.
Okay.
It just interests me.
Respect that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. This is the first class, as you guys probably know. I've been talking about this for a few months already, as I've been slowly building this stuff behind me over the last, 5-6 months or so. When I first put these the plywood on the wall and painted it blue, this was not the intention. The intention was to have a few boilers on the wall that my customers and clients can come see before they make the sizable investment to put this in their home. And it's spun into, let's test guys who come in looking for a job to see what you really know. And then I realized that's not really going to work because a lot of guys don't know anything anyway until they actually learn it. And there's also the pressure when you're interviewing, and it's like, it's hard to there's a lot of pressure there, right?
on the spot.
Exactly. That's what I was looking for. And then I was like, you know what? I can't do this forever. And let me try to show others. And I was going to just do it on YouTube. And then someone said, like, why don't you just have people come in from other companies and just teach them? And I was like, yeah, but they're going to want to work for me. And then the bosses are going to be pissed off at me. I was like, well, how about you agree not to hire them? I was like, okay, I won't hire them, right? Okay, this is my word. I'm not going to hire you, right? But if you're not working for someone and you want a job here, we can talk about it. But I'm not hiring, but I'm hiring someone for HVAC, residential service. And when that person comes along, the right person comes along, we'll figure it out. But I've been doing this for quite some time. I think this is like the 17th year I've owned the business. I think 17 years, 17 years or so. 17 years. And I've had not a lot, but several guys come and they go. Most with the understanding, okay, listen, you didn't really know what you knew, or you said you knew, and when you learn more, come back. And chances are you never see them again. And the ones that want to learn more will stick with it, and we'll grow together. And I have a great team. The other Mike has been with me for, 10 years or so now. Daniel's been with me for 4. And his brother, who's now the office manager, which is a shame he's the office manager. He should be in the field, right? He should definitely be in the field, right? He was my apprentice for many, many years, probably 2.5, 3 years. And I put him in there because he just can't make a decision to go into the field. I said, okay, go do this. Unless I tell him to do it, he's not going to do it. But I can't. You can bring water. You can bring the camel to water, but you can't make him drink. And he's a great kid, and he's going to learn more, but can he sit at the desk for the rest of his life? I don't know. Do I want to be there for the rest of his life? No, I don't want. AI could replace him. And I have AI answering the phones, and it's still new, but eventually it will be. There'll be robots.
Yeah.
There'll be robots, and it'll in our lifetimes. I can almost guarantee it'll happen.
China has them.
Yeah. So back to this. We are going to do this every hopefully every other week or once a week, whatever. But you're the first 3, and until you guys quit, it won't be replaced. So just keep that in mind. As long as we can learn from one another, we drive right, and we have good vibes, we're good to go. ChatGPT says I need to talk about safety. And a few weeks ago, about a month ago, I actually had a real life example when I was here by myself at 6 o'clock in the morning, being careless, but thank God I was wearing PPE. Because if I wasn't, I would probably be blind right now. And I'm not exaggerating, because right behind you, where those air handlers are sitting, was the smelting furnace hooked up to that propane tank, that white tank there. And I was melting a scrap aluminum ladder that I found on a curb while I was walking my dogs. I put it in the back of the Jeep, and I drove it here, and we started cutting it up and melting it. And the pieces are on that wall over there. The white ones. Right. All of that is liquid ladder that we formed into solid ingots.
That's funny.
And this thing's still going. Yeah, we're still going, okay. But I got careless, and if I wasn't wearing a welder's mask, I would probably be blind. I was wearing that shirt. That shirt. By the way, behind me as well. Yeah, pretty intense.
Up there.
Thank God you're still here with us.
Yeah. So I cannot, and I talk about every so often, wear your gloves, wear stuff to protect your eyes, but you could be doing something so stupid, right? And something could go wrong, and you could lose your vision, and you're done. You'll never see it again. And it happens. You could be working with a grinder, and the blade could spin off, and like I'm sure we've all seen the Instagram things where the piece of grinder blade is inside the mask. It would have been inside your face, in your cranium. So ChatGPT, we have to give a shout out for that. Safety, always protect your face and your hands if at all possible. Yeah, any questions so far? Good, okay. We're gonna get into the basics. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Yes.
Okay. And then we'll talk about these behind me. But do we want to talk about this behind me first, or you want to talk about pilot lighting? While I get a lighter.
I say let's talk about the pilot lighting first.
Okay, very good. So as I was saying, all this we see here is all hooked up to gas. It's all hooked up to power, and it's under pressure, and there's water in it. It makes kind of no sense, like under pressure and water, it makes, it has to be, right? But these three here, the boxes on the wall, are tankless combis. They provide space heating and domestic hot water. These two units over here are boilers that provide space heating or hot water to space heating appliances. It could be baseboard, radiators, fan coils, radiant tubing in the floor, indirect storage tanks, what have you. And we'll talk about this stuff right here. This is zoning and zone valves and circulators and thermostats, and we'll wire this up eventually. Okay, that thing follow me? We got it though. Here is a lab set up with this diagram. This is the first video that I made on the HVAC training channel that I started a few months ago. The black piping here, which is labeled with the natural gas, is live. This light bulb is to duplicate a circulator. Okay, and this thermostat is a thermostat. This is a Honeywell thermostat. I said circulator, didn't I? This is a Honeywell thermostat from the 1920s. And an undamaged version of this, and only one exists, is in the Smithsonian. Right? This was their first attempt for a clock to set time with heat. Right? Now we have programmable thermostat you can operate by your phone. Right? But back in the 100 plus years ago, you had a mercury bulb here, right? And you had inner workings, mechanical motors and things which operated a clock, which then would operate your heat. If you wanted to heat the boiler come on at 6 o'clock in the morning, well, it would do it for you. And this thing, take a wild guess what this thing cost when it was brand new out of the box. Take a wild guess.
What did you say, 1920?
1920.
$5.
A lot more than $5.
80.
Much closer. I think it was around $90, right? Which was a fortune. Imagine what it's worth today. Probably thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars was the cost of a steam heating system to be installed in a new home. That was the upgrade, by the way. You had a furnace, right? And then you had steam, right? And then hot water came along. But a few $1,000s was an upgrade for steam heat in your home, in your brand new home. That was like $6,000 to install, to buy and build. Crazy stuff, right? Okay. So we have the gas on. The gas is on, and the power's on. Nope, power will be on now. That turned on. We'll turn that off. That's off. Okay. You're going to start. Okay. Let's quickly review what you have here. This black pipe is your gas. Okay. And it's obviously the end of the line. Okay. And forget about what you have here, this and this. These are just so we can measure pressure, and we'll do that shortly. Okay. This is like a gas top, but it's a gas valve. So if I go like that, sorry. Should probably close that, right? Good idea. Okay. So the gas is on. Here's your gas valve. Okay. Do you know how to relight it? Would you like me to show you how to do it?
I would like you to show.
Okay. Do you know how to relight it?
Yes.
Do you know how to light it? Okay. You know how this operates?
Yes.
You guys know how this operates, like how it actually stays on and what have you? Very good. Okay. We have a dial on here. We have off, pilot, and on. Right? When hypothetical, no heat call. Okay. Pilot is out. You'll see this. You'll see this on to on, but there'll be no pilot. Pilot will be out, right? So you can follow the pilot lighting instructions that are on the boiler, right? And it'll tell you to turn it to pilot and to hold this down, and then try to light it. So we're going to take this, we're going to hold down this, and we're going to go like, it's actually there, you guys don't see it, but it's blue. And when you hold this down, you're keeping the gas flowing through this pilot tubing, right? And allowing that flame to stay lit. As that flame is staying lit, it's heating up the tip of that thermocouple, which is the end of this this copper-looking tube. And as it's heating that up, it's sending a small electrical charge back to the gas valve, keeping the valve open here when I let this go. But it didn't stay on. Okay? So we could have a couple things. We could have a bad thermocouple. We could have not be lit. Or there could be something wrong with the gas valve. Correct me if I'm wrong. So far, so good? Yeah. Okay. Here's that. Now, the rule of thumb is that when you're holding that down and you have a good flame, you should hold down for at least 60 seconds. When you let it go, and if it doesn't stay on, then you start troubleshooting. If it stays on, then we go to the next step. So do what I just did. Let's relight that. Do we want to turn the light off maybe? Yeah. See better? Okay. Nothing's going to blow up. You're okay. Maybe the light is not good, but you'll get it. There you go. Okay. So now if you notice, we have a nice blue flame with little orange tips at the end. You think that's a good flame or bad flame? Without even knowing anything, what's the first thing that comes to your head? Does it look good or look bad?
It looks bad.
Looks bad? What makes you think it looks bad? Why?
Due to my inexperience, it looks. I wouldn't know.
Okay. So it was a guess.
Yeah, it was a guess.
What do you think, Mike?
I think it's a good flame. It's capturing the thermocouple. It's a little powerful, but
correct.
Yeah, but it's a good flame.
Edison?
I want to say it looks fine. Like as he said, it might be
A little bit too powerful.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Now, if you look close enough, the tip of the thermocouple is just starting to get a little orange, a little cherry red there, just starting to. Right, so we know that the thermocouple tip is in the flame. Okay. So if we were to let go of that after 60 seconds, as long as the thermocouple is good, it should stay on. As long as the gas valve is good, everything else is good, right? Now, I don't need any power for this, so that power is off. So if you let go of that, we'll see what happens. You kind of see it's still red. Yeah. Right? Let me turn the lights back on. Okay, so I know that you don't have any experience on this, but I'm going to defer to the more experienced guys and let them take educated guesses as to what's wrong. What would be the first thing you test?
First thing I would test, well, me, depending on what I have with me, but I would unscrew the thermocouple, and I would do I would test out the thermocouple to see if it's putting out millivolts.
Okay. You have tools to do that?
I need a minute.
Okay. If not, I do have a multimeter here that will read millivolts.
I watched one of your videos. Does it give off like the thermocouple gives off 25 to 30 millivolts?
Yeah, very good. Good, very smart. You've been paying attention. Excellent. Yeah. Anything above 20s, into the 30s, you're fine. And if you have good voltage there, what would be the next thing you think? If the thermocouple is good and it didn't stay on, what do you think would be next?
Testing the gas valve.
Okay. And we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Edison?
I would have checked the pilot. I mean, sometimes they could be.
But given what we just saw today, it was cherry red.
Yeah, that makes.
All right, so if the thermocouple tests good, what would be the next thing you'd try to do?
Like pressure.
Okay, very good. And we'll wait for Mike to almost get ready. He's got the Fluke 902 FC. Does it have the FC?
Oh, no millivolts in this.
No millivolts in that. Do you have a tester for millivolts? If not, I do. Don't worry.
It's in it's my truck now.
You have alligator clips on your leads? I don't have alligator clips on these leads. Okay, here you go. Just take that. And here's a lighter for you. Still going. Okay. So Mike removed the thermocouple from the gas valve, and now he's got an alligator clip on the end. It'll should stay on there. On the end, the silver part, which actually sits inside the gas valve once it's threaded in. He's got one on the copperish tube of the thermocouple itself. Okay, now he's going to try to relight that. And if you guys come over here, you will see. Sometimes you gotta like multitask a little bit. He's got the knee holding the thing up.
Throw a bowl on you, I'll juggle it.
All right, so there is the pilot flame lit. Edison is holding that. We have 2.3, 2.5, 3. Now remember, the rule of thumb is hold it for about a minute, right? So the flame is heating the tip of that thermocouple. We're at almost 4 millivolts. Now where do we need to be at?
Around 25 to 30.
What do you say? Same thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's only been about 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds now, but what do you think the problem here is?
We got done.
Yeah, look at that. All right, and does that thermocouple look brand new?
Yes-ish, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Well, it looks kind of new, right? It doesn't look like this one.
Close.
Right.
All right, this one looks like it's been heating for years of dependable pilot service, right? But this one, it looks fairly new, and it's only giving 4.6 millivolts of power, which is nowhere near enough for it to heat. Enough for it to actually hold open the pilot valve magnet once you let go of that. Okay. So, should we put in a new thermocouple?
Yes.
Okay. So, let's try this one here. And we'll test that before we actually install it. And remember, that was sitting in flame. It's probably hot. You want to be careful with that. Wear it like, your fingertips will get used to it. Get enough calluses on them.
I have this rule.
Edison, you do a lot of installs?
Couple, yeah, a lot of boilers.
What's your, what's, boilers too?
Yeah, a lot of boilers.
So now you're doing, what are you installing now, like we're going into summertime? You're doing HVAC or just boilers still?
Actually, like I said, we've been beginning to do
Service
commercial service.
Oh, commercial service, okay.
Yeah, so I've done, let's say, this week, last week, I did
You wanna do it?
Yeah. And yeah, like
Put one on the belt there.
a month ago, we did a boiler.
So squeeze that like that.
Okay.
We're kind of all over it.
Put on the belt.
Gotcha. There you go.
But like I said,
And
I
then
still,
squeeze
I'd
this.
like to learn.
Make sure that goes on the metal in the
Yeah, the end.
The end?
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
And anywhere along the jacket.
Okay. This is the old one.
Yep, well, it's an older one.
Okay.
So now, here, I'll hold that. Maybe it'll stay, no, it won't. Those are like industrial, like the work it does. Okay, now light pilot. There's your thing. You're gonna have to push down that. There you go. Spazzing out. Something together. There you go. Look at that. Seconds. We're into 7, 8, 9, 10. 15. See, as we progress more with time and as it heats up more, we're heating up two dissimilar metals. I always say it wrong, but there's two metals that are heating up and they're conducting electricity and small electric charges traveling on that dissimilar metals to there, and that's where you're getting that reading there. So 25.
24.
Yeah. Okay, so I want you to now I'll turn that off and then thread in the thermocouple into the gas valve.
Okay.
Was this one, the one you took out, was it loose or you used the tool to take it out?
Out of here, use my fingers.
No, over there.
That was loose.
It was loose, hand tight?
Yeah.
Okay. Here, I'll let you take your leads back. I don't want you to lose them. Here, let me go back. Here, thank you. This was the one that was bad, right? Yeah. Okay, so now this is the gas valve. Go right there.
I'll go right there.
So you're gonna go up. We're gonna bring this over here, and we're gonna just go into there, and we'll thread this in almost entirely by hand,
Okay.
right? And don't use the tool until it's like you've already threaded it in as much as you can. And then we'll use a tool. You have one of these? Oh,
Putting the little wrenches.
yeah. Okay. But you do not want to use a wrench. Wrong side. You do not want to use a wrench to get it started because you will cross thread the very soft metal of the gas valve. Remember, lefty loosey, righty tight.
Yeah. Oh, I don't like it. Okay, here we go.
Then we will fire something up in here. Okay, nice and snug. Okay, relight the pilot. All right. All right, let it go, see what happens. Oh, it stayed on this time.
Voila.
Voila. Okay. Look at that. It's on. Okay. Should we go a little further on this, or you want to start playing with these for another 20 minutes?
We could definitely start playing with this.
Okay. You want these main burners to come on?
Yes.
Okay. So, your service call, and I know we're throwing a lot at you. This is, and we're maybe progressing a little bit too fast. Mm-hmm. Remember what position was this on when you first got to the service call for no heat? Where was this?
Off.
No, try again.
It wasn't on.
It was on. Okay, put it to on. Perfect. Okay. This is a rule of thumb. I'm gonna put it back to pilot.
Yeah.
If I can't push this down by my finger,
Okay.
wiggle this around a little bit. You may not be on the right setting. So right now it won't go on. Do not use force or tools to make this move.
Okay.
Okay? It should always go like that. And if it doesn't, you got a bad valve, needs to be replaced.
Okay.
Right? Don't start beating on it because that's not going to get you anywhere. And you're putting, and that's back to rule 1 where safety is very, very important, especially when it comes to gas.
Okay.
So if you need tools to what normally you need fingers for, it's time for it to go.
Got it.
Or something's not right.
All right.
Okay, we're going to put that to on.
All right.
And let's, that's off. This is the power switch on the boiler. We're going to turn this on. Okay? And I want you to turn the thermostat on. There's a little lever right there. Crank it up a little bit, all the way up.
Is it lever?
Yeah, let's slide it all the way to the right.
Right.
Okay. What's happening now is the vent damper is opening.
Okay.
That's the damper on top of the boiler that needs to be open in order for this to fire up. It's a switch in there, like a safety, like the rollout switch.
All right.
And now you have flame. Okay, and on a later class, we're going to measure pressure at these points. All right, this is outside the gas valve, but this is your incoming gas pressure, which will change based on what's running. This is the inlet pressure on the gas valve. This is the outlet pressure on the gas valve. And we really can't adjust these, right, unless we play with the gas meter and the regulator on the gas service, or if something else is running, we have improper size pipe. But we can adjust this pressure here, which will affect that. Right? And that's when we have that boiler running and we can do a combustion test with a combustion analyzer and really zero in the gas pressure, which would correspond to proper combustion, as long as pressure is where it should be based on the factory settings. Okay? And that will still stay on because now that even though there's no power, the pilot is still on. Right? I don't need any power for this. This is a mechanical valve that operates with 24 volts. Right? This one does at least. And if I have 24 volts applied to this, like if I had from the transformer right to here and power this on, it will turn on.
Okay.
But because there are safeties, the thermostat, the damper, rollout switch, spill switch, things like that, aquastat as well, that regulates the temperature of the boiler that's heating, that will always stay on.
All right.
Unless there's no gas. Cool?
Yes.
Okay. Guys, you vote which one you want to play with first.